Yes. Yeah.
But like the comparison, like with me and some of the other guys.
So that'd be something neat to see, the Harris Centers.
The Pirates playing in Williams.
Welcome back to the second period. The XFL being the NFL Partner League. That's interesting. Because, I don't know, there's a lot of thoughts on this.
Well, for me, I look at it as a step in the right direction with the NFL acknowledging a lower level football league being beneficial to the NFL's future. I mean, when you actually read into it, it's not going to be a developmental league.
No, which that kind of surprised me because you would think that it would be, being that it's almost like players that are not to the NFL level, but they can be over X amount of time, just like how, baseball has the minor leagues, hockey has the minor leagues. You would think, I mean, when I first saw this, I thought that's what this would be, or the start of something would be.
Well, it is the start of something, and that's why I said I think this is a step in the right direction. And to me, and we've talked about this previously with MLB and the Atlantic League and the Frontier League and the Pioneer League and all that stuff, that these partnership leagues, at least with MLB's concern, is it's testing new rules, testing equipment, and that's what the XFL is going to be doing for the NFL. Which, for growing the future of the sport, this is a smart move. And we don't know what this could lead to down the road as far as maybe them becoming a developmental league. But me as a sports fan, as a football fan, it's refreshing that they're at least acknowledging it.
It is, yes. I do agree with that. I just wish it was something that you could see. I mean, it may take a couple of years to actually get to that point to where they might consider it like a minor league. It may take a couple of years. But also, I think right now, of course, the XFL is owned by Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
If you smell.
And at this point, I think for him, making this type of move is a good thing for him on the XFL's part, because this is going to get his name out there. It's going to get the XFL's name out there.
Yeah.
And right now, the XFL kind of has not a good back because of how Vince McMahon had it way back when he did. Because when I saw, when some of the articles I was reading, they called this like a gimmick league at one point.
Well, that was in 2001. I mean, when it came back in 2019,
well, yeah,
it was taken a little more seriously.
But at that point, though, I mean, when it's called a gimmick league, though, they're still, because right now when people think of XFL, they still think of the Vince McMahon era with it. And that's not going to go away because that's what they think. I think after a few years of Dwayne Johnson actually putting the players forward, doing this for the players and not just for money and and everything else.
Well, I mean,
it might get a different reputation.
I think had COVID not happened and that 2020 season was able to play out to completion, I think the XFL's the public's opinion of the XFL would have changed, because those games were a lot of fun. It wasn't the problem with the original XFL is that it was over the top in terms of production, in terms of how it looked on the field, but the play didn't quite back it up. Whereas in this case, everything was a little more toned down and the play was allowed to speak for itself.
It was football.
Well, it was football the first time around. It's just people.
Yeah, but I think
people didn't want to look past Vince McMahon the first time around.
Exactly. And I think right now, I mean, yeah, you are right. If COVID didn't happen, yeah, it probably would have had a different reputation right now, because it would be a few years into its whole thing.
This would be season 3.
Exactly. But right now, though, they only had, in theory, one season.
Half, I think, even.
Well, even then. Still. So right now, they still can't seriously yet, because they only seen a small amount of what the XFL is now compared to what it was then. And so maybe with the NFL, though, okay, yeah, it's not a developmental league yet, but maybe that being that they are now partnered with the NFL, they can actually get their name to that upper level to where it can be taken seriously and not treated as a gimmick. Okay, yes, first season was fantastic to have in there, yes, but that's all we've seen for the past few years. So maybe if, like I said, the NFL is involved now, maybe we can, maybe they can get that to the next level.
So I think it's worth taking a look at the two, or at least discussing the two leagues that the NFL had previously invested in. The first one being the World League of American Football, which eventually became NFL Europe. They played 2 seasons as a international and North American league. And then in 95, they became a strictly international league. There was no North American teams. And the NFL was a co-owner of that league, and then they took it over as the NFL Europe. And that lasted from 91 until 2007. And that was a true developmental league, but didn't exist in the United States. It existed in Barcelona and England and Germany and all these different places. And then we've talked about it before. They had a 49% ownership of the Arena Football League, but you can't really consider that developmental when the style of play in Arena Football, while similar, is different enough from the NFL that it wouldn't have translated on field to the NFL. So this is really truly the first time the NFL is partnering up with a North American based football league for the sheer usage of some kind of future football basis. If it's if it's adapting new rules and using different equipment, that's great. And this could pay off to something else in the long run. I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL ends up co-owning the XFL at some point based on their history.
And I think, it just came to me also that maybe after maybe a year or two into this, where the XFL gets that recognition that they're looking for, and people actually look past the Vince McMahon thing, that they look past all that. Maybe now what they can do is, if, let's say, contracts are soon ending with certain players of the XFL, like, hey, this guy is doing great, let's give him a tryout contract with the NFL.
And I'm sure even without the XFL becoming a bigger thing, that will happen, because there's always going to be good players that shine in a situation like this.
Oh, absolutely.
Tommy Maddox from the original XFL of 2001 ended up playing for the Steelers in the pre-Ben Roethlisberger era.
So there's always hope for that. There's always hope that can still happen, even though it's not considered a minor league, a minor league to the NFL.
And side note, everyone knows I'm a Uniwatch nerd. The Barcelona Dragons NFL Europe jerseys were very sweet. That logo is tremendous. That's one of my all-time favorite football logos.
I was to look that one up. But yeah, I mean, if they're going to do like the rule changes, because I know with hockey, they did the rule changes first with, I think it was the ECHL, then AHL, and then they jumped it to the NHL. And now being that the NFL can actually have that development now to see how it works before they implement it on the field, instead of just saying, good luck.
No, and I think that, the best thing to do is, and let's be honest, we've talked about so many times, professional football does not have a minor league system.
No, they don't.
There isn't a minor league.
And so this could be a start.
I don't see the XFL becoming a big time league. I see the XFL becoming a top level minor league, basically like a AAA in baseball terms, or an AHL in hockey terms.
They're not going to rival the NFL. They're too far a huge moneymaker as is.
Right.
But at least the XFL can give that little aspect. And same thing with the USFL when it comes out.
Which, if there's a lockout, thank God for the USFL. We'll have something to talk about.
Exactly. But I think it's going to be interesting when the XFL and the USFL, when both leagues are going with each other. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, my thing with this is, let's say the USFL does last. They're already on Fox and NBC, and Fox owns a portion of the league. Where's the XFL going to air? Are they going to be on just ESPN? Because that's really the only other. ESPN and ABC are really the only other network, or CBS. But I don't see CBS really investing in that kind of time.
I see ESPN because they can just put it on stream. They can stream
they
the
could
games.
ESPN Plus it. You're right.
Yeah, they could stream the games and make their money that way because, well, like we discussed when how many episodes ago when we found out that Dwayne Johnson bought the XFL. I mean, his name alone is a skyrocket just in acting, not just anything else.
How many episodes ago? It was 39 episodes ago.
Was it?
It was the first episode.
Shows how old I am. I can't remember. Yeah, how much stuff have we talked between almost a year and a half ago now?
We've talked a lot.
So it's kind of hard to remember what episode's which anymore. But just in general, I think his name alone can help carry the different look to it.
Yeah.
And then adding the NFL into it, I think ESPN would be a good one to pick up because, like I just said, they could stream it and still make their money. They could do that. They could get away. They could easily get away with that.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we have to wait till February of next year to actually see anything with the XFL.
Hey, these things take time.
But it's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's hope it plays out for him.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, and we'll be here to talk about it when it does.
Right? You have anything more to add on that one?
No, I'm good.
All right. On that note, that'd be the end of the second period. We'll be right back.
Badass Beard Care is a veteran-owned and operated beard company that proudly makes all their products in-house in the USA, and they want you to take advantage of their free sample offer. The offer is available to everyone and is backed with a money-back guarantee. That's right. If you don't love the product or scent you select, they will replace it with a different scent and a refund of your shipping and handling. Choose from 13 badass scents and see why over 400,000 bearded badass enthusiasts and trust Badass Beard Care with their beard care needs. Grab yours today at badassbeardcare.com/free sample. And I can tell you, David, I've used their product. I'm a customer, and it's a nice product. Definitely worth getting out of your way, both you individually or a listener, to try that free sample product. I've gotten over the years the original, which is sandalwood, bourbon, and vanilla scented. And I've gotten the Mountain Man, which is pine and cedar scented, beard oil, beard balm. Really nice stuff. And it's nice that it's being made in the USA. You could buy something off of Amazon, but you don't know where that's coming from. These guys, it's made in California, I believe, which now that I say that, I should know. But very friendly staff, very fast shipping, awesome people to work with. Again, check them out at badassbeardcare.com/free sample.